Hi everyone. We're all pretty excited about this. Now we just got a couple of minutes to go. We're just checking all of our feeds with our different segment producers and making sure all of our connections are live. I really still think this should be plugged into something. Anyway, like the real Yorkville Exotic Car Show, when we started putting this virtual edition together, we underestimated just how big it could get. We've already been covered by several news outlets all across the Greater Toronto area. BizBash.com, ToDoToronto.com, CTV News, TheStar.com, and of course, that full-page story in Friday's Wheels.ca, thanks to our wonderful ambassador, Jim Kenzie. Plus, we have all the social media followers of all our special guests we have coming up, which I'll introduce you to in just a few moments. Now, you can help spread the word too. Our Instagram handle is @YorkvilleECS for @Yorkville Exotic Car Show, @YorkvilleECS. And now, thanks for the comments and the well wishes that are already coming in. We have a number of shout outs to our Instagram followers. Frank Vitaliano, To The Max Photography. I see something from Shayna Venderheim and Elthorf. Nice, welcome to the show. Oh, we've also got some Facebook followers. Sanjay Morjani and Rob Stewart. Welcome. Now, if you entered our Instagram contest, please make sure you stick around for the announcement of the winners of our official Yorkville Exotic Car Show crew hats. I've got an extra crew hat for whomever is tuning in from the furthest away. We'll be announcing all the winners live before we wrap up the show. And anyway, without any further ado, it's time to kick off the official show. So hello everyone. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. My name is Phil Down, founder of the Yorkville Exotic Car Show. And on behalf of our executive director, David Elsner, our venue sponsor, the Bloor-Yorkville BIA, and our entire crew, thank you all for joining us on our very first virtual edition. As you probably already know, today was supposed to be our 10th anniversary Yorkville Exotic Car Show on Bloor Street and on the red carpet, and another incredible lineup of beautiful cars and well-known sponsors. The global pandemic has affected us and our 100,000 annual spectators as much as it has you, your families, your friends, and for many of you, your livelihood. Our primary concern every year has always been for the safety of our spectators, exhibitors, sponsors, and crew. We had to put the brakes on this year, pardon the pun, but we didn't want to let our followers down either. We know that for many of you, this is an annual tradition, and we too miss putting on the show. So thanks to the extraordinary efforts of our social media team, led by the incredible Charnel Khan, we're bringing you our first ever virtual Yorkville Exotic Car Show on Instagram Live. For the next 45 minutes, I'll be joined by a handful of guests. We've got 5 short segments for you. Rick Kaczmarek from the Bloor-Yorkville BIA will kick things off. He'll be live on Bloor Street with 2 beautiful Best of James Bond Aston Martins from Grand Touring Automobiles. Then, keeping with our Father's Day theme, Canadian racing icon Ron Fellows and his sons will be live from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park with the all-new mid-engine C8 Corvette from Chevrolet Canada. Steve Bortolotti will be joining us from Pfaff Auto, and he'll be showcasing a new limited edition $1.3 million Porsche 935 race car. Then we have 3 legends in one segment. Auto journalist and 32-year host of Motoring TV, Jim Kenzie, will join us for a special edition of Kenzie's Corner with a Ferrari F50 from Legendary Motor Car. We'll wrap it up with Vajid Khan from Cars and Chai Toronto. Their tag is @CarsandChaiTO. If you want to tell your friends now. Vajid is going to give us an up-close and personal look at his new Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. Now, for a brief history of the show. The idea of the Yorkville Exotic Show started around mid-2009. I was the director with the local Porsche Club chapter. Part of our mission statement besides promoting the brand, was to foster goodwill among other sports car clubs and give back to the community in a meaningful way. Fellow director Rona McGrath and I were discussing ideas on a restaurant patio in Yorkville and looking out over the street, watching the crowds and the sidewalks and constant procession of beautiful cars driving by. We thought this has got to be the best place to bring a car show, all the car show clubs together, with their best display cars and make it easily accessible to everyone. So I approached the Bloor-Yorkville BIA to see if we could close the streets for a one-day car show, raise money for charity. I spoke to marketing manager Rick Kaczmarek, and the rest, as they say, is history. Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest from our long-standing partner and venue sponsor, the Bloor-Yorkville BIA, right from Bloor Street, my good friend, Mr. Rick Kaczmarek.
Hi, Phil. How are you?
Rick, I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing? And
Very
thanks
good.
so much for braving the heat and the humidity and bringing us these shots live from Bloor-Yorkville.
Yes, Phil. We've always been really lucky with the weather for the live show. And if we're forced to take this one virtual, perhaps on an uncomfortably hot day like today, it's not a bad one to skip. We've been doing this show for the past 9 years, raising funds for Prostate Cancer Canada. And this year, all proceeds will go to the Canadian Cancer Society. It's truly an incredible Father's Day event in the city.
And Rick, you've been with us for the full 9 years as we're heading to our 10th anniversary. So tell us, from your view and from the Bloor-Yorkville BIA view, what do you think has made the event, such a success over the years?
Well, we started the event on Cumberland Street in Yorkville Avenue in 2010 for the first event with approximately 3,000 people in attendance, and then moved to Bloor Street for Celebrate Bloor in 2011, the event that celebrated the Bloor Street Transformation Project completion. And we introduced the red carpet that marked the turning point into a monumental success. Last year, we had an estimated 100,000 people in attendance.
Yeah, it was very exciting. And Rick, tell us what do you think gets people so excited about this car show?
It's a great event to spend outdoors with family and friends, and a fun and unique way to celebrate Father's Day activity. It's a time when car enthusiasts can get together and see a great lineup of exotic cars, and also support a great cause. This year being the Canadian Cancer Society. The community has really come to look forward to this event every year, and we couldn't be happier to be able to continue to celebrate with all the dads and car lovers out there.
Yeah, Rick, that's fantastic. So Rick, so tell us, what cars have you got there on Bloor Street with you right now to show us?
All right, here comes the eye candy. Today on Bloor Street, we're lucky to have a 2020 Aston Martin DBS Superlegerra, as well as a 1996 Aston Martin DB6.
Yeah, and now Rick, a little bit more. These cars are from the best of Bond. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the Aston Martin 2020 is painted in Q Custom Casino Royale, the color of the concept car featured in Casino Royale. It's also to be featured in the James Bond movie No Time to Die, which is out in November.
And how about that DB6 from 1966? That's a special car.
Right, here we are. Here's the DB6. It's painted in silver birch, which is the color from James Bond Goldfinger. And I'll just to give you a little bit more of a view here.
Absolutely gorgeous. Brings back memories of Thunderball and Goldfinger.
Right. These one-of-a-kind vehicles are on display in front of the colonnade. If you're out celebrating Father's Day in Bloor-Yorkville, stop by, check it out, and snap a photo for social media using hashtag #LiveGrand or Yorkville ECS 2020.
Fantastic. And Rick, those cars, correct me if I'm wrong, those cars are going to be on display right there on Bloor Street, in front of the Colonnade at 131 Bloor Street West, up until 5 o'clock today. Is that right?
Yeah, they're here until 5 o'clock today on Bloor Street. We'd be happy to have you come out and check them out and snap some photos. Stay safe and happy Father's Day, everyone.
Rick, thank you so much. I'd remind everybody that those cars are going to be right there on Bloor Street in the Bloor-Yorkville area of Bloor Street West. They're going to be out there until 5 p.m. today. If you want to pop by and have a look and check them out in person. I'd like to give a big shout out right now to Alek Ackerman, Aston Martin brand manager over at Grand Touring Automobile, for his help in providing the cars for that last segment. I'd also like to thank Dave Redinger, Alan Gelman, Simon, and the entire crew over at Dave's Corner Garage for their 10 years of support. You can catch Dave's Corner Garage every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Zoomer Radio, AM 740. Their broadcast is also carried on Sirius XM channel 167, Saturdays at 7 a.m. and Sundays at both 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Now, if you're enjoying our show, please let us know in the comments section. And please hit the little paper plane icon on the bottom of your screen and let your friends know we're on Instagram Live. Now we're going from the beautiful Bloor-Yorkville area in downtown Toronto, just 64 kilometers east of here, to the most famous racetrack in all of Canada, our home track, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Joining us today, in keeping with our Father's Day theme, is Canadian racing icon Ron Fellows and his son Sam. Ron and his wife Linda, in partnership with Carlo Fidani, have been part owners of Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in Bowmanville, Ontario since 2011. Ron Fellows Performance Driving School, in partnership with Chevrolet and Michelin, is the official high-performance driving school of Corvette. Ron is recognized as one of North America's most versatile and successful road racing drivers. His hometown is Brampton, Ontario, and he holds the record for most wins in NASCAR's top 3 racing series for a driver born outside the USA. With Corvette racing, Ron Fellows is a multi-time sports car champion and was part of historic first victories at the Rolex 24 in Daytona Beach, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and the 12 Hours of Sebring. Of course, he's been inducted into Canada's Motorsports Hall of Fame and the Corvette Hall of Fame in Bowling Green, Kentucky. But in addition to that, he's also been awarded Member of the Order of Canada. Ron and Sam are coming to us live from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park with the all-new mid-engine C8 Corvette. And that comes to us from Chevrolet Canada. So Ron, welcome, and thanks for joining us. I'm doing fabulous. Happy Father's Day.
And all dads, yes, and I've got, it's a family affair here. Son Patrick behind the camera, and our oldest son Sam here with us. Hi guys.
And we really appreciate you coming to us live from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park on what is a very, very warm day.
It's a beautiful sunny day here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and we've got the beautiful 2020 C8 in Accelerate Yellow here, and in Father's Day fashion, the grandfather to the C8, that would be a C6, the father of the C8, the C7, and here we are.
Well, Ron, I really appreciate you bringing out the car that's in our traditional Yorkville Exotic Car Show colors.
We have Jim Scott at Chevrolet to thank for that.
Fantastic. So, Ron, what can you tell us about that new C8?
Yeah, this is a beautiful work of art, ground up rebuild, absolutely fabulous. The obviously the first mid-engine production car in Corvette's 67-year history, and having spent time in this in a C8 both on the street and on the track, absolutely love it. The mid-engine configuration provides, I mean, just in terms of the driver, you're sitting 16 inches closer to the front axle, beautiful sloped nose, improved visibility with the windshield. We'll have a quick look inside here.
Yeah, we can't wait to see more of the car.
Yeah, we're headed that way. So the really
Excellent.
cool part of this is it's a real driver-centric cockpit. You've got all the controls vertically here on your right, and you really feel like it's just you're truly wrapped around it once when you get in, and then the square in terms of visibility, you've got a square top steering wheel, top and bottom. Again, improved visibility for gauges. Yeah, just an awesome piece. And of course, mid-engine configuration. Look at that. 6.2 liter, 495 horsepower, 470 foot-pounds of torque. 8-speed automatic transmission in manual mode. Go to paddle shifts are on the steering wheel. Just on the right, downshift on the left. This dual clutch transmission makes for incredible seamless gear changes and super quick and accurate, which explains part of the incredible 0 to 100K in like 2.9 seconds. That was one of the first things I noticed driving on the track was the forward traction at low speed is off the charts good, and I've experienced that both at Spring Mountain at my school and here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park coming off of 5B. Just absolutely incredible forward traction, and again, some of that is the mid-engine configuration and also what they've done with this car mechanically, and yeah, just off the charts good. I guess from a drivability standpoint, the comfort on the street from an everyday driver standpoint is superb, and on the track I found it much easier to drive than the C7. So that for C8 owners, they're absolutely going to love it.
Well, and just for some of our viewers who may not be familiar with Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, when Ron Fellows is talking about coming off a 5B, that's the tightest, slowest corner on the track, but it's also the most important corner right before the long straightaway. So yes, Ron, you're telling me that car comes off that corner nicely, does it?
Oh, it does. Yeah, I couldn't. I tried to get wheel spin and I could not. It had absolutely no trouble getting almost 500 horsepower to the ground and quickly. Yeah, great launch, and which is key in maintaining great acceleration and also balance when you've got that kind of traction. So.
And that must be awfully important going across the top of 2. Again, for our viewers, corner 2 at Mosport is world famous. So Ron, how's it grip going across the top of 2?
Yeah, that's that's sort of the next phase. The high speed stability was super impressive. Really here at on the Grand Prix circuit, formerly Mosport, you've got long high speed corners. And the balance, we were doing cornering at probably around 90 or 100 miles an hour, 150K approximately. And just the impressive part for me was the stability at that kind of speed through 2, through 4, turn 1, turn 8, but particularly where you had elevation, which is 2 and 4, just really stable and nice in control at high speed.
And so, Ron, is there any chance we're going to be able to see one of these C8s in your school so that people that attend the school will get a chance to drive it?
Yes, we have started. Yeah, the C8 school has been up and running for about a month, and we're again with the COVID-19 situation, we're running reduced size groups and with an ability to maintain social distance. But the C8 school started. We're probably a month and a half late, but it has started up, and we've got 50 or so C8s for Corvette C8 owners, and they started. And again, it started really with the C7 generation, where with the purchase of a new C7 or new C8, it comes with a heavily subsidized 2-day school, regardless of model. When we started the school in 2008, it was in support of the 2009 then C6 ZR1, and the heavily subsidized program was only for ZR1 owners. Well, what
Ron,
Chevrolet did was expanded that to all owners, all purchasers of a C7 model, and now again with the C8, same program. So it's a great way to learn all about the car in a controlled environment at a beautiful racing facility, driving facility in Spring Mountain, west of Las Vegas. And 2 days, and you'll leave not only with a better knowledge base of the C8, but a better knowledge base of your own driving capabilities.
Yeah. Well, Ron, thanks so much. We really appreciate you taking the time on your Father's Day. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Patrick, and the whole family. And
don't forget,
I just want to remind everybody, you want to check out Chevrolet's Instagram and Facebook pages. You get to ride along with Ron Fellows on a hot lap of the track with the all-new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Now, thank you all for tuning in. Our Instagram handle, I remind you again, is @YorkvilleECS. And we also have some Yorkville Exotic Car Show giveaways to be announced at the end of the show. Another shout out to Alek Ackerman, our Grand Touring automobile, who brought us those beautiful Aston Martins. Remember, if you're enjoying the show, please let us know in the comments section. Let us know where you're calling in from, and let your friends know that we're on Instagram Live by clicking on that little paper airplane icon at the bottom of your screen. Now, we still have 3 more incredible cars to profile. A 2020 Porsche 935 race car that few people will ever get a chance to see. A Ferrari F50 from Legendary Motor Cars. And a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ from Cars and Chai TO. One of the unique features of the Yorkville Exotic Car Show is we do not charge admission for our spectators. We want everyone to be able to bring their whole family and all their friends to enjoy the show together. The Bloor-Yorkville BIA takes care of the lion's share of the expenses, and our corporate sponsors make generous donations that contribute to the almost $320,000 we have raised to support Prostate Cancer Canada's efforts to date. Our sponsors have always included one of the companies in the Pfaff Auto Group, either Pfaff Porsche, Pfaff Tuning, Pfaff Motorsports, or Pfaff McLaren. Pfaff has always had a president. We're moving back to West now to Vaughan, Ontario, to visit with Steve Bortolotti, representing Pfaff Auto. I must have visited a half a dozen Porsche special exhibits, and always the 935 race cars from the late 70s are there. Porsche decided to build a modern tribute to those iconic racers, and they managed to do it in relative secrecy. I've been looking forward to this segment for weeks. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Steve, we're dying to hear all about the 935 race car.
Thanks. This is our extremely rare. This is actually one of the most exclusive vehicles Porsche has ever produced. This is one of 77 in the world, and the only one to touch Canadian soil. So this is the 2020 Porsche 935. So as you can see, it's finished in absolutely stunning bare carbon fiber. We've got some stone guard on it, which gives it that glossy look because like all good Porsches, it's meant to see a racetrack, and it's going to get used here before too long, actually at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, where Ron was just filming from. So as you walk around the car, you can see this is a track-only vehicle. It is not street legal. So you see a big overhanging splitter here, which is made also out of carbon fiber to help create some front downforce. You'll have the big intake scoop here, air scoop to allow air to pass through and creates more downforce through the front. And these are actually brake cooling ducts to feed air to these massive Brembo brakes, which I'll let you get a closer look at here. So these are actually the same Brembo 6-piston calipers that are on the 991 Gen 2 Porsche RSR. So it's obviously ties in a lot of Porsche's racing heritage, showing that this is not just a track day toy. This is a very serious racing automobile. These louvers over the fenders help drag some turbulent air outside of the top of the wheels, and these mirrors are actually also shared with the RSR as well. As you move down the side of the car, you'll see some connections here. This is actually the connector for the air jack to put the car in the air quickly. This cap here is where we put distilled water, since the car is turbocharged. It uses distilled water to help keep the intercoolers nice and cool. And this is actually just a port where, at the end of a fun day at the track, we plug in here and pump all the distilled water out of the car to help reduce corrosion. In terms of the wheels, they're absolutely stunning DBS Motorsport wheels, 18 inches with extremely wide 355 section width tires. Wing is actually shared with our Porsche GT3R, finished in plaid, obviously to tie into our Motul branded IMSA GTD car. As you head around the back, this is one of the coolest features of the 935. You'll actually see the tail light is built into the side of the wing, because these massive overhanging bodywork, which is underneath, it starts life as a GT2 RS Club Sport. So your massive overhanging bodywork doesn't really make the taillights overly visible. So we have those up there. These exhaust tips are actually one of the most stunning pieces on the car. They're actually inspired by the old 908 to give it that look. So it ties in a lot of the heritage and just the design. I mean, the acoustics of the exhaust coming out, especially for a forced induction car, are just absolutely incredible. Good thing I've been one of the few people privileged enough to hear this thing go on track, and it's just absolutely stunning. Keep working our way around. We'll the outside's all fine, but the inside's where the magic happens. So this is the interior of this ultra exclusive Porsche 935. It has some analog gauges, as well as digital. So you have a nice mix of a Cosworth dash, race dash, as well as actual analog boost gauge. So it's kind of ties in the old with the new, and then the steering wheel here is quick release to help taller drivers egress and ingress into the vehicle. It's got paddle shift on the rear of the wheel, and then it's got buttons for pit speed, drink, scrolling through the display, radio to tell the crew they're not doing the best job setting the car up, and yeah, it's been great. And then it's obviously got 6-point harnesses, all the safety features you would expect from a modern race car, as well as air conditioning. So that's great.
So Steve, I couldn't help but notice when you opened that door, it looked feather light.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the doors only weigh about 10 pounds with all the safety in them as well. So they're full carbon fiber. There's some foam in there as well to, if on the off chance there's a side impact, it just helps absorb some of the energy from that.
That's amazing. So Steve, you say this car is not street legal, and it is strictly only for the race car. Yeah. Do you think they're gonna see racetracks on a regular basis? Is that one ever gonna see a racetrack?
I could tell you with a lot of certainty this one's going to be seeing a racetrack within the next few weeks. This one's actually owned by Mr. Pfaff himself, so it's he's a car enthusiast. This car, it's a Porsche. It's made to be used on a racetrack, even though it's a collector car. It's going to see a fair little bit of track use this summer. Let's say that we'll keep the when and where private, but our Pfaff Motorsports Instagram channel will have great coverage and maybe some onboard video as well of this thing turning some laps in anger around Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Well, Steve, we can't wait to see it. And Steve, thank you so much for sharing that wonderful car with us. And it's, as we mentioned, it's a tribute to those winning championship cars from the late 70s, the 935s. It's an absolutely gorgeous car. Steve, thank you again for sharing this time with us. And hey, special shout out to Laurance Yap as well, and to everybody over at Pfaff Auto. We really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, and good luck with the rest of the show.
Thanks very much, Steve. Cheers.
No problem. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Now, having the Yorkville Exotic Car Show on Father's Day led us quite naturally to our long-term partnership with Prostate Cancer Canada. Our goal, in addition to the $320,000 we have raised to date for research and support, is to raise awareness about prostate cancer and the importance of early detection. If we can get every son and daughter on Father's Day asking their dad, "Hey Dad, what's your PSA number?" and all the dads, grandfathers, uncles, brothers, and sons in attendance got the test and found out we'd save more lives. Prostate cancer is the most common cancer to affect Canadian men. Every day, on average, 58 Canadian men are diagnosed with the disease. During their lifetime, 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. At the beginning of the show, we visited Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. I've been driving and instructing on that track for almost 15 years. There is never a day that I show up there and I don't think of my late friend and fellow track car enthusiast, Dr. Robert Baldoff. We lost Bob to prostate cancer in 2016. I don't want to carry any more memorials on my race car. Prostate cancer is going to affect each and every one of us in some way during our lifetime eventually, unless we stop it. Over 90% of prostate cancer cases are curable if detected and treated in the earliest stages. Early detection is key. Related deaths are down already 40% over the last 2 decades. Compared to year 2000, that means that there could well be over 100,000 dads, husbands, sons, and brothers who are still with their families. Just recently, Prostate Cancer Canada merged with the Canadian Cancer Society. This allows the 2 organizations to pool their resources, cut costs, and make our donations go even further. The funds we raise still go towards fighting prostate cancer. And when you make a donation, which I hope you will, you'll notice the donation page links with the Canadian Cancer Society. I'd like to take a moment right now, if I may, on behalf of Prostate Cancer Canada, to thank everyone who volunteers their time to put on our live show in addition to this virtual one. Our Executive Director, Dave Elsner, Carmen Zhang, Dave Biesinger, who's been with us since the beginning, Ryan Bond, Rebecca Hitchcliffe, Robert Carroll, Raymond Bedisi, Natasha Batina, Joachim Raveth, Lynn Liang, Rona McGrath, Mohammed Abdel Hadi, Ishman Munir, Lance Watson, Vasil Stakoff, and of course, Charnel Khan. Now, during the introduction, I said we'd have 3 legends in one segment. The first, of course, is the car, the legendary Ferrari F50. The car has been generously provided by Peter Klutt from Legendary Motor Car. And the third legend has become a great friend of mine, a longtime supporter of the Yorkville Exotic Car Show, 3-time Targa Newfoundland Rally Open Division driving champion, chief auto reviewer for the Toronto Star wheel section, and Canada's foremost auto journalist. Also, host of TSN's Motoring TV, now in its 33rd season, bringing us a special edition of Kenzie's Corner, Mr. Jim Kenzie. Welcome, Jim.
And Brad Diamond would get very upset about that.
I'm sure. A big shout out to Brad.
Yes, and you can see I'm wearing the uniform.
Excellent.
The motoring hat. But because I'm talking about a Ferrari, I'll do the Kenzie Corner version of the hat dance and put on my Ferrari hat. So there you have it.
Excellent.
This is the Ferrari F50. It's hard to believe, looking at this car today, that this was introduced in 1995. This car is 25 years old, and it's just spectacularly beautiful. It's racing red, needless to say. What Ferrari wouldn't be red? And it's an incredible piece of technology. Again, 25 years ago, this car had a carbon fiber tub. There was Nomex in the chassis, aluminum lightweight suspension, push rod suspension. They had all the incredible technology. This was effectively a race car. This was essentially the car that Ferrari ran at Le Mans, kind of civilized a little bit to make it a bit more palatable. It's a 4.7 liter V12 engine, 521 horsepower. It's a six-speed manual gearbox. And needless to say, this car really, really flies. The
It looks
technology,
absolutely beautiful.
yeah, and it's that's according to Wikipedia, and they've never lied to me before that I know of. And it's just an incredible piece of work. You can see the Ferrari logo, the prancing horse. There's an interesting story behind the prancing horse, actually. It was the symbol used by a World War I fighter pilot, and both Ferrari and Porsche have incorporated that same prancing horse into their logos. If you look carefully at the Porsche badge, in one of the little segments of the Porsche badge, you'll see a very similar looking prancing horse. But this car represented pretty much state-of-the-art road car technology at the time. And the thing that I find amazing is it still looks so contemporary, so beautiful. This is one of Pininfarina's all-time great designs, in my view. I have checked. The keys aren't in the car. Because that was part of my plan, was to, as the big finale, was to jump in the car, rip off this cord, and drive away, never to be seen again.
We would just love to hear that V12 roar.
Well, then I realized we're on the second floor of Legendary Motor Car, and I think waiting for the elevator might have given people a chance to catch up. By the way, a shout out to Peter Klude here for this incredible facility. It's about 10 minutes from my house. And I've asked Peter if there's a little room someplace, maybe I could just move in here. He's got an incredible collection of hundreds of fantastic cars, old and new. And I have to say, at the moment, this Ferrari F50 is the pinnacle of that design. I hope we've got enough shots of it to show you how spectacular it is. Can you sneak inside there and take a look at the interior? That kind of redefines form-fitting bucket seats, I'd have to say.
Beautiful.
And yeah, so this is one of the, I would say, one of the top Ferraris of all time. I don't think there's too many cars that invoke both the passion that this brand represents and the technology. Again, 25 years old, all carbon fiber. This car was incredibly ahead of its time. And if I may just add a little bit about prostate cancer, I can't believe that BC and Ontario still don't cover the PSA test. That's just unconscionable to me. Hard to believe. I'm in the target market, but my doctor has got me on active surveillance, which is the way to get the PSA test for free. So when this show is over, I want everybody in BC and Ontario to phone their MPP and demand that the people get covered. It's not perfect. It's not the only way, but it's the best test we've got to eliminate this scourge. I've lost 2 friends to prostate cancer recently, and it's not a fun way to go. So yeah, there we go. So we got a minute left. I just want to give you another chance to look at this gorgeous car. That was the advertisement there.
Well, Jim, I tell you, it also has to be so rare because I know they built about maybe 4 times as many of the predecessor F40 as they did this F50. So it's got to be valuable. Yep. Very valuable.
My favorite F40 story was I was on the Alitalia flight coming back from Rome with the last F40 ever built. And that car had the Le Mans package, which had the extra spoiler out the front. They were loading the car into the Alitalia 747. Next thing you know, they were taking it out. I said, what do you do? Well, this thing won't work, so we have to remove this spoiler. Well, Remo Ferri, the Ferrari dealer in Toronto, said, over my dead body. So he took it off, so he was able to get the car and ship it back to his dealership in Woodbridge. So, but this is the F50, the predecessor, and I'll take it anytime.
Yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful car. And I also understand that the predecessor car was like Kevlar. And then they took about 3 years off, but by that time, carbon fiber was a new, at the time, leading edge material. And that carbon fiber car was built back in 1995.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, just amazing. Well, Jim, listen, thank you so much for spending this Father's Day with us. I know you've got 4 children of your own, and I know you want to get back and spend some time with them. We really, really appreciate it. It's always fun. It's always a pleasure. And we hope to have the entire crew back live on the red carpet next Father's Day on Bloor Street. And Jim, we're always looking forward to seeing you there.
Tip of my hat to you, sir.
Thanks very much, Jim. Happy Father's Day.
And to you. Thank you.
Thank you. From our very first car show 10 years ago, we wanted the Yorkville Exotic Car Show to be different. Obviously, we wanted it to be fun and exciting for the whole family, but we also wanted to foster goodwill among other sports car clubs. We wanted to encourage community involvement and philanthropy. And we also wanted it to be educational, not just about prostate cancer awareness and prevention, but also about how these incredible, beautiful cars changed over the years to look like they do today. We needed to have not only the newest, best, and most expensive cars the exotic manufacturers can produce, but we also needed access to the older vintage models and everything in between so that the public could see how each brand's designs evolved. In order to fulfill that vision, we reached out to the other sports car clubs and car enthusiasts who shared our passion and invited them to the show. And now we have excellent relationships with just about every sports car club in Southern Ontario. One of our most rewarding affiliations has been with Cars and Chai Toronto. Their Instagram handle, once again, is @CarsandChaiTO. They are a private club of automobile enthusiasts, and they share our passion for the automobile, community service, and philanthropy. We share their vision and mission statement, and we're proud to be associated with them. Joining us now, with the best driving Lamborghini ever made, the Aventador SVJ, is the chairman of Cars and Chai Toronto, Vajid Khan. Vajid, welcome. We got time for a couple of little shout outs. A little shout out to Kalamux, for Krista Petko, and for PRP Photo. And right now we're up to 150 viewers. So, have we got Vajid on the line? Can we request again? So, while we're just waiting for Vajid to get hooked up, I want to thank some of the people that helped out on the previous segments. Jessica Mallett from NKPR assisted Rick Kaczmarek. Alek Ackerman, the Toronto brand manager for Aston Martin and Grand Touring Automobile, they helped us out for the Aston Martin segment. Ron Fellows and his two sons, Sam and Patrick Fellows, Chevrolet Canada and the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for our segment number 2. And I hear we're now ready to go with Vajid. So Vajid Khan, are you with us?
Glad to join the show. My name is Vajid Khan. I'm a medical doctor and I'm the chairman of a car enthusiast club called Cars and Chai Toronto. So our tagline is passion for the automobile and philanthropy. So all of us in our club, we feel very grateful and we know we're blessed to have the things that we have, the success that we have, do what we do in terms of our jobs and to drive the cars that we drive. So we all feel that it's not only our privilege, but also our responsibility to give back to people that are in need. Now, as far as our club's involvement with Yorkville Exotic Car Show, I had my Lamborghini Huracan Performante a couple years ago in the 2018 show, and we came out as attendees. Another big intention of our car club is to be good role models, positive role models for current youth, future generations, show them that you can be refined, respectful, kind, generous, a lot of the things that you may not associate with some types of owners of cars like this at times. But we want to show people that you can do that, build each other up instead of tearing each other down, and give back to charity, all while driving really cool cars. So we have this year in the show, my car here. Next year, hopefully, we're going to be in the show with our own dedicated corral in 2021, and I'll talk about that a bit later. But first, we're going to go over this car here that we're featuring today. So this is a 2020 Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Coupe. I picked it up in November. And a lot of people, will ask me, like, why did you pick the Aventador SVJ? Because I had a Performante before. Initially, my order was for an Aventador S Roadster, and I think there's a bunch of reasons, but I think one of them One of the big ones is the scissor doors, obviously, and then just the crazy, bonkers, kind of insane styling of the car, which is, I think, what defines a Lamborghini. So I like to tell people this is one of the Lamborghiniest looking Lamborghinis, which I really love about this car. Now the ordering process, like I said, I had a different car allocated at first, but the dealership offered me an allocation on an SVJ. I said, let's do it. So I went to Monterey Car Week in 2018, where I saw the unveiling of this vehicle there. I had a one-on-one session with Vittorio Gabba, who is the head of ad personam. We went over different options for the car. And then back at the dealership in Toronto, over 3 or 4 sessions, myself, Heather, and Joey, we went over all the details of the car, all the different things we were going to order before we submitted. And I got the car in November exactly as ordered. So let's go over some of those options. So one of the main things that I think people will notice first and that I love most about the car is the paint. So this is a multi-layer paint called Arancho Fuchs. It's an ad personam option. It's got a glitter finish to it, which is what's special about the paint. And the name is kind of funny too. It's FUX is how you spell the last part of the name. Other things on the car, obviously the carbon fiber options. You can see here the vents are carbon fiber. We'll talk about the carbon fiber on the back in a little bit. On the sides, I got the side skirt down here in a gloss black finish because I wanted it to match the gloss black accent that I had done aftermarket to give the car a more angular, aggressive look from the side profile. When we head around the back, you're going to see here's the V12. It's a 6.5 liter, 770 horsepower engine. You can see the carbon fiber around this little tiny window, so rear visibility is poor. And you've got this big intake here that's kind of blocking your view too on top of that. So you get the air coming in over the car into this intake. It goes up the center strut, which is for the standard carbon fiber ALA 2.0 wing, which is Lamborghini's patented active aero system. You can look that up online. It's a bit too long to explain here. And then we've got the carbon fiber diffuser fins, which we had accented with the orange stripes, I think, which really lights them up so you can see them a bit better on the back. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the interior. So Ryan's going to head around to the passenger side so we can look at some of those features. All right, so here we are on the inside. So you can see the patterning of the seat, the fabric. This is a special, again, customized ad personam option to get the right amount of orange and black on the seat. If you turn the camera around here, you can see the SVJ logo is also in special orange stitching. The red is standard. You can't change that. The headrest also up here, orange with black contrasting Lamborghini logo, which I really like. And then this double cross stitching is an extra option too, which gives an extra look to the car. And then what I thought was an extra funny touch to add to the car is this fire extinguisher, which you clearly don't really need, but it's a little bit funny to freak people out when they get in the car and they think that, oh wow, this is a car that needs a fire extinguisher. So
I guess people ask what is sort of special about supercar ownership. So obviously, you know, the looks of the car, it's very striking to see driving down the street, but as an owner, you don't get to experience that maybe even as much as other people do seeing you drive around. So you're usually in the driver's seat, so you don't get to see that. But one thing you can only really experience when you're driving one of these cars are like the sounds, the vibrations. Like it just makes these delicious like crackles, pops, snaps, and bangs. And you know, when it lurches forward, when it accelerates, it's hard to describe what that's like. But for me, it kind of makes me feel like I'm evil cartoon supervillain. Like I'll be driving around with the windows down and I will literally laugh like, like while I'm driving around. I'll let out like hoots and hollers. So I really think that it'll let out your like inner 5-year-old, and it brings out kind of like the purest, you know, unadulterated form of who I am when I drive this car. So that's really cool. Also driving around just in neighborhoods like in Oakville here, kids freak out when they see the car. You'll hear kids with the windows down, they'll scream and squeal, oh my god, it's a Lamborghini, and like run after the car. You'll rev it a couple times, they freak out some more. So that's really great. You feel like a bit of a superhero. And then when parents approach you in the car with their kids, you know, to take photos and stuff, I really feel like that's like an opportunity where you can make an impact on this young person's life. Like this may be a once in a lifetime thing for them where they get to see a car like this, sit in it. So I try to tell them something good that they can do, like just common sense stuff, but just like, you know, be good to your parents, right? Like they took care of you when you were a baby, you got to take care of them too. And then just, you know, study hard at school. I mean, I know there's a lot of different ways to be successful these days, but that's the easiest thing for me to explain to them. And I just hope that they remember that moment because of the car and remember what I said as a result and try to live, you know, a better life and be more successful and generous and stuff like that in the future. So those are things that I really like about the car experience. And then as far as Cars of Chai Toronto goes, I'll just finish off by saying, like, we do try to do fundraising for charity. So like we said, prostate cancer research with the Yorkville Exotic Car Show. We've fundraised for Penny Appeal during the pandemic, for a local food bank in Mississauga during the pandemic to help out with food shortages. And we also raised funds to deliver hot meals to healthcare workers for free, because there are superheroes these days. They're on the front lines, they're getting infected by COVID-19. Some of them are dying because of it, so we want to show them that we appreciate what they're doing for all of us. And yeah, we look forward next year to being in the show. We'll have our own corral with some other exotic cars and supercars. There's other cars like McLarens, there's other Lambos in the club. We have an AMG GTR in that green hell color, and hopefully we're gonna have a Ferrari F8 Tributo by that time next year. So we look forward to seeing you guys on Father's Day in 2021 to support prostate cancer research, and hopefully we'll chat in person and check out all the beautiful cars at the show at that time. All right, thanks guys.
Vajid, we got to thank you. Vajid, I can't wait to see that vehicle at our next show. Vajid, thanks again. I want to thank our cameraman on site, Ryan Bond. And for the Jim Kenzie segment, I also want to thank Lance Watson and Liam Hunt, who helped us out there. Vajid, thank you, thank you, and thank all of our viewers for letting us share a part of your Father's Day here on Instagram Live for our first virtual Yorkville Exotic Car Show. Please take a few minutes to click on our Instagram handle at Yorkville ECS, locate the donate button, and make a small contribution to the Canadian Cancer Society. Now, as we mentioned at the top of the show, we have winners of our Yorkville Exotic Car Show's hats. And the winners are Celine Khan, Nathaniel Cooper, Thomas Sagarikis, Isaac Kerr, and Giancarlo Paolek. So on behalf of our entire crew, our sponsors, and the Bloor-Yorkville BIA, we look forward to next year and having you all back with us again on the red carpet on Bloor Street for Father's Day. From all of us here, until then, be safe and be happy. Thank you.